Wait,
Whoa, really? You can do
wait,
that?
wait. Hold on.
It
Hold on.
just
I gotta
blew
try
my
something.
mind.
Damn, you might be onto something, Shakes. Hang
Hold
on,
on.
I need to
Right.
go back and read some stories here.
I'm calling out of work tomorrow.
It's Mystery Pony Fiction Interviews, co-hosted by Shakespearicles and Leviathan Eclipse, featuring authors from Fimfiction.net to tell us the stories behind their stories.
Welcome, bronies, to Mystery Pony Fiction Interviews. This is a show where I will be interviewing MLP fanfiction writers that I have made audiobooks for over the last 5 years. I will be joined by my co-host Shakespearicles, the world's strongest writer, and Leviathan Eclipse, someone who reads the world's strongest writing. Each episode, I intend to bring on a new fanfiction writer to discuss themselves and their inspiration for their writing. This time, we have someone that I've known for a very long time, and I see them constantly scoring a spot in the Fimfiction.net featured box. Their name is And What I See Is Me. So first of all, And What I See Is Me, don't you know that it is a writing sin to put a capital A in and?
Well, if you're familiar with my work, you realize I don't particularly care that much about writing sins.
Yeah, one of the fics that we're going to discuss is all about you committing a bunch of writing sins, but you do it in the guise of it actually being Trixie that's doing the writing, not you. And that was a really fun fic for me to read. One of my favorites that I've done, I think. Will probably be in my top 10 of this year's readings. But yeah, that's about the third story we're going to be talking about. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to ask you your super brony origin story. So tell us how you ended up being a brony and ending up where you are today.
Well, I am, relative to most of this fandom, probably considered an old man. In my late 30s. So when the
So
series
am I.
first... Well,
Yeah, I was like 24 when the
the old
fandom
guard.
started.
Kids. It's not a competition.
Yeah, I was 22 when the series started, but I was on 4chan.
You're one of the OGs.
And I remember, I wasn't on CO much at the time, so I wasn't really aware of MLP like getting a new series ahead of time. But I remember after the first 2 episodes were released, there was like a post on A with I think it was a picture of the main 6 blasting Nightmare Moon with the rainbow element of harmony beam, and someone pitched the show as Sailor Moon but with horses. And I was like, oh, that seems like an interesting show. I wouldn't expect that from a My Little Pony show. So I, downloaded the first 2 episodes, totally legally and with no shady backdoor streaming or downloads. And just fell in love with the show.
Wait, you could get the show
I thought it was
legally?
really...
Like, well, I mean, especially me being in Australia, I didn't think they even aired it here for like several years after it started. But, did you like
For legal
watch
reasons, we can...
Did you like watch each episode as it came on TV, or were you able to?
I actually did watch a lot of them on what was it, the Hub back then?
Right.
In the first few seasons. Yeah.
That meant you had to like wait for it to be on at a certain time.
Yeah, no, I never downloaded anything illegally. That's
interesting.
Wrong.
Because
yeah,
very bad, very bad. But like when I watched it, I did it like the whole first season, in a drunken binge. I got the whole season and watched the whole first season in one go while drinking, and I basically after I saw that first season, I for some reason decided to start going onto message boards and getting involved in the community behind it, and now I'm trapped in this cult forever. Like 14, 15 years later now? We're all
Yeah,
trapped
time
in
has
this
no
cult.
meaning anymore. But yeah, I remember after the episode Ghostbusters, especially, I was posting on CO a lot as like just shit posting as Trixie, declaring everything great and powerful and just trolling everything, and that was a lot of fun.
Cool.
And around, I actually dropped out of like I wouldn't say I lost interest so much as just life got busy for me, and I didn't have time to watch as much television around mid-season 5, somewhere around there. I think I watched the first couple episodes of season 5 and then sort of just dropped out for a while and picked it back up around season 7. It was actually, if anyone's familiar with DWK's totally legit recaps of the episodes, that's kind of what drew me, watching those kind of drew me back into the fandom and got me back interested watching the show.
DWK.
So,
Rest in peace.
so what got you into writing about it? And like, how early did you start doing that?
So I didn't actually start writing until after the show was done.
Oh, really? Yeah, I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like, I feel like I've known you forever, but I realized that I only really started being, back social online with other bronies at the start of 2021, and that's actually not that long ago in the full perspective of the brony fandom. But
Yeah.
you were kind of
Like
right
my
there at
fam-
the beginning of when I started the Mystery Pony Fiction show. You were one of the first authors I was picking to do readings for. So it feels like it's been a long time.
Yeah, no, my like Fimfic account is actually only dated to October 2019.
Right.
My first story was November 2019.
Yeah.
I obviously read stuff on Fimfic before then, but I didn't really bother to do an account until I decided to start writing. And what inspired that was really the show ending. Like, there's a lot of doom and gloom about the fandom dying, and no one was going to care about the show once it stopped airing. And I felt, I wanted to do something to like contribute to the fandom, and I can draw about as well as Sweetie Belle can cook, so I decided writing would be the way to go about that. And so once the show ended, I just started typing away at pony words and went from there.
Cool. Yeah. So you're probably the person that I have done the most readings for, especially if you include some stories that I can't really mention here on YouTube. But you're probably
Yes.
just behind Shakes in terms of the author that I've most often featured reading for.
Now, I do appreciate it. I always enjoy listening to your readings of my works,
And I really enjoy
even if
reading
it
them.
does, even if they do often expose typos and weird phrasings I didn't catch on first writing them.
You're good, kid. You're real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll only be second best, see?
Yeah. Okay.
I can never match you, Shakes.
Hey, at least if you try, I don't know, what's a good saying? Like, if you try to match Shakes, you'll at least get halfway, and that will be pretty damn good.
Aim high, kid, but don't aim for the impossible.
Okay. So, if that's all there is to say about that, did you want to move on to the first story we're going to be talking about?
Sure, I think that wraps up my origin story well enough.
Unless Shakes or Leviathan have any questions for you?
Nope.
Not
Okay.
yet.
All right then. So, when I listened to your stories again just before bed last night. And one thing I seem to have noticed is, to be kind of harsh on myself, I think my quality has kind of gone down overall. Maybe it's because of the implementation of AI music and instead of the legitimate stuff. I will go more into detail about that, so I won't repeat that too much. Like, I went more into detail about that on the last episode of the show. But basically, when I re-listened to Last Heart's Warming, I was kind of astounded by how good my quality was, like 3 years ago. And I feel like I've kind of been, because there was a point, early in the audiobooks that I was making where each audiobook I made, there was a significant improvement over the last one as I learned to get better and better at things. And I kind of feel like this Last Heart's Warming that I just re-listened to was some of my peak content, and then I've kind of only been matching or slightly not doing as well as I did back then, either because I'm sometimes reading a story just to get my quota done, like I try to do at least 2 per week, and sometimes I don't really feel like it, so I kind of phone it in sometimes and just do a kind of straight reading without too much creativity put into it. But I think in these early days, I was a lot more passionate about it, and I was surprised by how much effort I actually put into Last Heart's Warming's reading, with all the sound effects I put in it, and yeah, just I feel like I did a really good job of it. What did you think? Yeah, Last Heart's Warming.
This is the last heart's warming, so treasure every shining face. Each laugh that fills the room with meaning, each memory time can't erase. Raise a toast, embrace the cheer, let the bells of friendship play. Every heart's warming brings us here. No one's ever far away.
Did you want to tell us the synopsis of that, and yeah, about how you
Sure.
came to be inspired to write that?
Yeah, so Last Heart's Warming was the first Jingle Miss story that I wrote back in 2020, which was a great year for everyone. But
Except me, I wasn't around in
Yeah.
2020 in the Brony fandom. I didn't come back till 2021. Anyway, go on.
so the prompt for the story, or the request for the story, because Jingle Miss is a story exchange where someone requests a like a broad overview of the story, and then you try your best to fit that. So I was asked for something involving Twilight and Celestia, and for something heartwarming. And if you read my earlier works, a lot of it went more for comedy and adult material, so writing something for everyone and heartwarming was a little bit out of my comfort zone at the time. But I strive to do something that would, fulfill that requester's holiday wishes. So the basic plot of the story is kind of opens up with Twilight rushing through the halls of Canterlot Castle to meet with Princess Celestia the evening before Heart's Warming. And as she does so, things seem a little strange. No guards in the palace, some unfamiliar stained glass windows on the walls, Celestia acting even more cryptic than usual. And then Princess Celestia offers Twilight a gift, which she opens up into a full-blown holiday party happening at the Castle of Friendship, and she is suddenly an alicorn now. And, as she sees all her friends and family celebrating the holiday, it slowly dawns on her what's happened, which is that she has passed away.
Dun, dun, dun.
And yes, and this is sort of a afterlife scenario, a last heartwarming for every creature.
Yeah, I
as-
actually hadn't I didn't remember much about the story until I re-listened to it, and I actually forgot that was the twist. I forgot that was the twist, and I think I got about halfway through it when I realized, oh, I get what's happening now. I remember what the twist is.
Yeah, I tried to do it a slow build, so
Yeah.
the reader can kind of realize it as Twilight is realizing it too.
Yeah, you do a good job of putting in the clues there. Basically every pony that is there are ones that passed away while Twilight was probably living a very long time as an alicorn.
Yeah,
And that Spike
the
and
implication here is
Flurry
that
Heart are
this
the
is
only ones
long.
not there, which means they're alive.
Yes, it's a long time into the future, past when the series ended, to the point where even Celestia and Luna have passed away from old age, and Twilight finally did the same. But yeah, the basic theme of the episode, or thesis of the story, I guess, is that heartwarming is a time for friends and family to gather and celebrate together, and that even after death, every heartwarming, as long as it's celebrated in Equestria, the dead still get to gather together and celebrate in celebration and reunite with each other, and it's a time to see friends and family again, even after death.
Yeah, so is this like an eternal heartwarming that's happening? Or is
Yeah,
it like
that's-
one last party that
I
will
mean-
end eventually?
I try. It's in my mind, it kind of is like a singular point in time that sort of goes eternally. Sort of a metaphor. It's I don't have a whole theology built up after it, but in a way, it's sort of similar to the Mexican Day of the Dead, where it's a time where the dead
think
can
it's
kind of reunite and celebrate together.
I think it's a very universal human experience to experience a moment where you say to yourself, I wish this moment could last forever. And that would become your personal heaven or afterlife. And if Pinkie Pie had anything to do with it, then yes, the afterlife would be a party everlasting.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think for Twilight, it would be something more like an infinite library where she can read books forever.
No, that's
Maybe.
hell, but it's the best hell ever.
It wouldn't be hell
That's
for
what I
Twilight.
mean, like even for
Also-
Twilight, I think that she would be more inclined to want to see her friends that she's made, like all the friends that she's made through her entire lifetime, which would be a big party. But like you've got eternity to do it.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's what she gets to experience here in the fic. But yeah, this is actually one of my. I don't think it's one of my best stories, but it might be one of my favorite stories. Just I feel like it is a nice message. I don't know if I really hit heartwarming like it was requested, but maybe bittersweet.
Yeah. Yeah. The realization that she's dead. Yeah, because I was gonna say, like when you said heartwarming earlier, I was gonna say, is it though? Is it though?
I think it is because honestly, like even for immortal alicorns, just because you're immortal doesn't mean you're invincible. And death is something that's going to happen for everybody. Death is a part of life, and having this being the end result of that makes it a very positive take on what is for the survivors a very negative experience. So yes, I would call it heartwarming.
And that's one of the reasons this is like one of my favorite fics is I'm gonna read a comment left on it by the person who requested the fic. Which is, you had no way of knowing this, but I lost my grandmother at a young age a week before Christmas, and as loss of that type does, it makes the holidays a difficult time for me and my family. This story was exactly what I needed and was absolutely well worth the wait. Just reading that kind of really made me feel good about like what I wrote for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we do it for, right? The feedback and acknowledgement that, we've done something that has had an effect on someone else.
But like, I obviously had no way of knowing that like someone had that person had lost a family member at this time of year, but that I was able to write a story that resonated with them in that way. It felt good.
Yeah.
It was what really got me addicted to the Jinglemas tradition.
So, Leviathan, did you manage to read the stories before the show today?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I got to read all of them.
Yeah, we kind of figured that's what you were doing.
Well, technically, I read them all like 2 days ago. Like, keep up, get on my level. Anyways, Last Hearthwarming. I have mixed feelings about it because, on one hoof,
Oh yeah, pony puns.
I really don't like the idea of
Dying.
like I mean, yeah, but specifically dying of like old age or disease. It's
Would you prefer a Viking's death for her to
yeah.
die in battle?
Yeah, actually, I would. That isn't really something that's
No,
allowed.
I'm not
these days.
teasing you. That's a legitimate question because like I don't want to just fucking die in my sleep. That would be boring. I want a death that's gonna make headlines.
A Klingon
Yeah,
death.
I would prefer
Technically,
to
she dies from reading a book. Dies reading a book. So
yeah.
Yeah, she reads Trixie's fanfic and dies of cringe.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But yeah, on the other hoof, I do really like the idea of Pony Heaven and Twilight being able to get to see all of her friends again, including Celestia and Luna, and also the knowledge that eventually Flurry Heart and Spike will join her. I just kind of personally wish that it was like Twilight died fighting some big bad or something. I don't know.
So
But other than that,
I had a story idea that I think you might enjoy then. It's in my to be written pile, and this is some spoilers for those of you who are listening. It stars Granny Smith, and she's waiting, just waiting around at like a street lamppost, just in some place. And eventually, Winona comes along, and she's like, "Oh, Winona, it's good to see you," and she's just, talking to Winona, and she kind of does like this little like one pony monologue, and other characters come along, and they're like, "Oh, what are you waiting for?" Like, "Oh, I'm just waiting for a friend," and then eventually, like at the very end of the story, Applejack shows up, and it turns out that she was waiting at the gates of heaven because she had died, and then Winona died because she's a dog and dogs have shorter lifespans. And then, like, she's the one that breaks the news to Applejack that she died. But she had been waiting there for her before she went inside and got caught up with everybody else, especially Winona, because Winona refused to go inside without Applejack.
purebred good dog.
Mm.
And it's like, that was an idea that I had when I was coping with one of my pets passing. And that was the story idea I had where it was going to be about Winona, but like, how do I get Winona to talk? And then I realized, okay, I could have Granny Smith do all the talking as sort of like a one character monologue with Winona to kind of have that same idea. But like, rather than having it be Twilight, because Twilight being an alicorn, it's harder to write that death. But credit where it's due. Andy here freaking did it in spades. I liked it. I realize it's not everybody's cup of tea, but a really fantastic piece. I really thought we were going to be doing all comedies tonight, but we lead off with a sad piece, and you did well. This just shows the range of your talent.
Oh, thank you.
I would
Yeah.
agree. Like
And-
it is very well written.
Yeah, man, I know how it feels to like I haven't had many pets myself, but my mum is like obsessed with dogs. She always has to have a dog with her, and you know, she's sad without one. But what's even sadder is each one that's died. You know, she's probably had 4 dogs that she's had to bury, and you know, that's like a very sad thing that she has to go through, and I have to witness each time. And I'm kind of, I, I kind of think, oh man, if only you didn't have a dog at all, you wouldn't have to go through the sadness at the end of its life. You know, I don't know. That's kind of something that went through my head each time she loses a dog. I'm like, if you never met this dog, you wouldn't be having to go through the pain of its death right now. But yeah.
Yeah, I
Was-
mean, I've had to put a dog. I had to put my dog down about 10 years ago as well, that I had from a child, and it is like it's heart wrenching when you do it, but it's about the memories you make with them along the way, and like the love you share with them that is makes it worth it, even if it's sad at the end.
Yeah,
I
mean,
don't know who originally said it, but the expression "'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all." That person was not talking about a human. That was someone talking about their pet. And whether it's a dog or a cat, for me, like I've had a pet cat my whole life, ever since I was a small child. And the only thing that can fill a cat shaped hole in your heart is another cat. So I can't fault your mom for
yeah,
getting another dog after losing one, because nothing else will fill that hole.
yeah. Okay, this is something that I was supposed to ask you at the start of the show, and what I see is me, and that is, what's the story behind your name? Why'd you go with that name?
Oh, so when I was trying to figure out a username for, well, it actually predates Fimfic a little bit, but it was actually, I think the first time I used the "And What I See Is Me" name, it was on the Something Awful forums, way back in the early days of the internet, when those were still popular. But it actually comes from a lyric of a song, Pink Floyd's Echoes. There's a, from the album Metal, there's a verse in there, see if I remember it offhand. Strangers passing in the street, by chance 2 separate glances meet, and I am you, and what I see is me. And then it goes from there. But I don't know. I just thought it, like, I wanted to take something from a song lyric to use as a username, as if a lot of my inspiration for titles, and even today, and you know, a lot of my naming schemes come from song lyrics or television episodes, and I just thought it was a cool sounding line that I would use as a username, and that's kind of the origin of the "And What I See Is Me" name.
Cool.
And I did not put into it much thought of how that would affect how people address me when they want to use my name, because no one actually calls me "And What I See Is Me" every time they do. So a lot of times I get called or "And What," or Andy, or Icy, or any combination of the words in that title. And
Yeah.
who knows what my actual name is anymore.
Yeah, who knows? Okay. Well, we're just about to hit 30 minutes. which is pretty long for just going over the first story. So like when I typed in your name in my TMFF audiobooks list, not just did your stories come up, but a lot of you've been credited as the proofreader and other stuff in a lot of other stories. So I even had to scroll through some stories to find the ones of yours, because you're credited in a lot of people's descriptions. But anyway,
Oh, I am pretty amazing.
yeah.
I would
So
agree, except I'm in the room.
So yeah, the next one we're going to talk about, and it's pretty, because I'm going to publish this on the 26th of December, so it's going to be pretty appropriate that we're going to be talking about having a rainbow hearts warming.
Waiting on hooves that are almost there. It's hearts warming on the edge of change. Where dreams collide and hearts rearrange. Fast wings slow and roots hold tight. Love learns balance in firelight. From barn to sky, from fear to truth. Two different paths, find something new.
Yeah, a nice little romance fic between Rainbow Dash and Applejack. And I probably picked this story because it was nice and short, and I needed something to get done. But I was pretty surprised with how heartwarming it was. Anyway, go on, tell us about it.
Yeah, this was another Jingle Mists fic. I mean, I guess it's appropriate for the December podcast, especially one that's coming out on the 26th. But a lot of these fics do happen to be Jingle Mists stories. So this one was a request for a story with Rainbow Dash and romance, and I ended up going with Applejack and Rainbow Dash because looking at the requester's user page, she was a big, or I don't know, they are a big Rainbow Dash and Applejack shipper.
Oh, Apple Dash, daring are we?
Hey, it's borderline canon. But yeah, romance.
It makes more sense
Applejack
than
and
Rarity and Applejack, at least. Sorry. Go
Oh,
on.
we are making friends today.
Oh,
Daring, aren't we? Yes, but the Rainbow, the story is basically Rainbow Dash comes back to Applejack's farm looking kind of dejected and upset, and it turns out she has turned down a promotion to take over Spitfire's position as captain of the Wonderbolts, because that would involve moving to Cloudsdale, and a Earth pony like Applejack would have difficulties living up there. Plus, Rainbow Dash wouldn't want to make Applejack choose between her and the farm. So instead, Rainbow Dash chooses Applejack and proposes to her. And it's basically the fic is basically a marriage proposal between Applejack and Rainbow Dash.
Is this fic probably the most loyal thing Rainbow Dash has ever done? Like, even in the show, she's never shown this much loyalty.
I mean, I'm sure there was something she did at some point. She protected Fluttershy from those bullies back in Cloudsdale and flight school. That was loyal.
she was also a loyal sister to Scootaloo. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I think we're leading up to a joke about her being honest and Applejack being loyal.
Yeah, well, we went over that already. We don't need to repeat it. Anyway, yeah, go on. I just wanted to make that comment, that's all.
No, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty short fic. There's not a lot of depth to it. It's sort of just supposed to be kind of a fluffy, romantic piece of holiday writing.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. Pretty good. What did you guys think about it, Shakespearicles?
No, I agree. It was exactly what it says in the tin. You did a great job.
No rug pulling, no subversion of expectations.
I mean, all right.
No, I'm not making a Star Wars movie. I'm just making a Fimfic.
No, but just yeah, it's her having to choose between like her dream job and her mare friend. It's she's going to be loyal to her mare friend, which I think was first of all, it's in character, but also it's very relatable because there's a lot of people who have had to make that choice between like either their career or their spouse for whatever reason. So it feels very grounded, and it's a very relatable experience for Rainbow Dash to have to make that choice, but also it's in character for her, and also the way she goes about the actual proposal. Like just trying not to make a big deal of it. Like just say yes. Come on. Was really good, and it just had a really great feel to it, and it does all that in less than 2,000 words, which is commendable.
Yeah, one other thing that's in the fic, it seems like that even when you're writing E for Everyone fics, you do put a lot of innuendos in there towards more mature subjects. Like I remember there being the reference to their sex life in there and the extremely long kiss.
Yeah, and yeah, some things they did last Hearts and Hooves days in the barn that Applejack wasn't totally a fan of, involving some ropes and such. Yeah, and actually, Leviathan, I noticed you even left a comment on this fiction with a similar thing. I'm guessing when you read it the other day.
Yeah.
So, for the record, all of my E-rated stories I do actually submit through the moderation queue, just so they might toe the line a little bit, but moderators, they are moderator approved as E-rated.
Well, speaking as another author who cut their teeth in the M-rated arena, like once you go M-rated, it's hard to come back from that. So like having those little scraps thrown into something teen-rated or E-rated, it's kind of hard to avoid.
Yeah. It's also like, even when I'm writing the E-rated fic, I know most of my followers are following me for what is essentially pop fiction. So I try to at least throw a bone or a little nod to them in there. I do sometimes wonder when I post a E or a T rated story and see like new followers get added to me, how many of them have the safe search turned on and aren't familiar with like.
Yeah, when they look at your profile, they'll find like 4 stories.
90% of my fics.
They see that you have 68 stories published, but they only see 4 showing up in the list.
Yeah.
I think it's actually 8 that are not M. So
I've done half of them. It looks like.
But
looks like I've done half of them then. When I was listening to this, my reading of this, it seems like I got like a 30-second long kissing sound effect, and I threw that in and put music over it, and I had them kissing for like 30 straight seconds, which I thought was
more accurate.
I'm pretty sure Rainbow Dash would be able to kiss Applejack in 10 seconds flat.
Oh.
I mean, there's sometimes you don't want to necessarily be the fastest pony in Equestria.
No. Rainbow Dash is like she lives fast, she eats fast, and she loves fast.
Also, I think it's been proven that Pinkie Pie is actually the fastest pony in Equestria, because she can outrun.
It's not even close.
She can outrun Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash is fast, but she can outrun Rainbow Dash, and Twilight can just teleport. which is just cheating. But
maybe Pinkie Pie is just has the ability to slip in and out of dimensions, and that's how she
Rainbow
beats.
Dash is the fastest flyer in Equestria.
Pinkie Pie is maybe closer to like some sort of eldritch
horror
creature than Pony at this point. But
actually, some fan fictions about that, or not fan fictions, headcanons about that.
Yeah. All right. So, are we finished with that story, you guys?
I'm good to move on.
Okay.
yeah,
All right. This next one is called "How Many Coronations Does One Pony Need?"
A dangerous idea takes its name. How many crowns is enough to wear? How many times can destiny glare? Some ponies rule, some ponies choose. Some win quietly, some just lose. It's not about the wings you earn, it's who you stand with in the turn.
And this is Starlight Glimmer, Trixie, and Sunburst. And this one actually is T-rated. And I think it has about the same amount of sexual innuendos that the last story did.
That's a little more direct in this one.
Yeah. So yeah, tell us what your idea was for this one.
All right, so yeah, this is a little closer to a little closer to my wheelhouse of comedy fic. I've always enjoyed writing comedy, or felt more comfortable writing comedy, I guess. There is a certain element of writing pony fan fiction is already kind of inherently absurd, so why not embrace it and just go for complete absurdity? But yeah, and this trio of Starlight, Sunburst, and Trixie is my absolute favorite ship in the fandom. I'm a huge Star Trix Burst shipper and supporter. So this fic the inspiration was just I was in a bit of a writing rut at the time. Having a little bit of a writer's block that decided to just fire up a fic about my favorite trio and kind of bang something out real quick that wouldn't even be something clean or just something that I've embraced the comedy aspect of it. The fic is about Twilight, Starlight, and Sunburst getting ready for Twilight's second coronation, the one where she officially took over for Celestia at the end of the last episode of season 9. I'm drawing a blank on the name of that episode right now.
The
epilogue episode.
Problem.
Yes, the last problem. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that the idea that this is Twilight's second coronation makes Trixie a little bitter and complaining, as she is wont to do, that Twilight has to have 2 of these things. And eventually the conversation gets around to being that maybe Starlight deserves to be a princess as well. As she's accomplished a lot of the same things that Twilight did, that led to Twilight becoming a princess. And Sunburst kind of finds himself surprisingly agreeing with Trixie. And Starlight has to talk them down, and basically her point is she's happy with what she has, and doesn't want to be a princess because she's just happy with living with the 2 of them and managing their school and not having to deal with all the pomp and responsibility that a princess would.
Yeah, but
really,
Trixie's
if you had
trying to
to choose
convince her to
between-
start a coup.
Well, no. It's just if you had to choose between, having the responsibilities of being a princess or just being in a three-way relationship, the pros and cons kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, some people
Yeah.
want power for the wrong reasons. So, and maybe Starlight realizes that she's probably not going to be someone that uses power for the right reasons, considering her past, which is something that she says in the fic. She's like, "Yeah,
Twilight or Starlight abusing her power? Ridiculous
No
notion. Yeah, and Starlight also says that she could probably just mind control Celestia to make her an alicorn if she ever changes her mind anyway.
Yeah, I think you
So,
say that
it's
right
all
at
good.
the end, as a sort of
A little under her breath.
maybe there'll be a sequel, and maybe Starlight will start a coup.
It's
I'd vote
I
for
think
her.
any coup started by the three of these would be immediately sabotaged by Trixie, somehow messing something up anyway, so it's fine. Equestria is safe.
Yeah, I mean, what powers does Trixie actually have? Like, I think
Pyromania.
even her fireworks aren't even her magic.
You can turn things into teacups really well.
Whoa, nice.
So when I wrote the story Tryouts, it had a lot of powerful magic users in that, and like literally Trixie's only power
It's her ego.
compared to everybody else was being sexy. And like the reason why it was called tryouts is because there were all these applicants to try out being Twilight Sparkle's partner, and like everyone's like, look, I understand why Trixie's here. Trixie's sexy in an obvious way, right? And even at the very end, when she's getting advice from Celestia, she's like, Celestia, who should I choose? And she's like, well, look, I understand. Trixie's sexy in an obvious way. That just becomes like the running bit. So like that's her superpower, is being sexy.
I
Yep.
love that story.
Trixie is great, powerful, and sexy. That's
Well, yeah,
undeniably true.
we're gonna learn a lot about that in the next one. Yeah, where the word sexily is used an absurd amount of times.
Quality writing all around in that pick. But was there anything more on this one that you wanted to ask first? Or are we moving on?
No, I thought it was a really great meta commentary on the final episode. It's like, I don't think she needs a second, like they could just have like a transition of power ceremony, but it doesn't have to be called a coronation, that was silly. Which suits you.
Yeah, she already had one. She had one at season 3, at the end of that, and she gets a second one. And Starlight never even gets one. And part of the inspiration of this story is I do kind of agree with Trixie in some of her points. That everything Twilight did to become an alicorn, Starlight kind of does too. In the course of the show. Just maybe not as responsibly.
Like Twilight starts out as being an unsocial, nerd that doesn't want to associate with any pony. So in a way, she's, starts off as a bit of a villain in terms of, just being anti-friendship. And I guess Starlight starts off in a similar way.
Yeah, just, leading a
except
village.
She does some time travel shenanigans.
But, it's also the fact that, season 3, the reason Celestia gives for Twilight becoming an alicorn is you did something that no pony has ever done. You created new magic. But all she really did was complete Star Swirl's spell that she accidentally cast on her friends. And Starlight also alters one of Star Swirl's spells to make it better and create time travel.
Mm-hmm.
So really, who's the more impressive feat? And then Starlight also saves Equestria with by gathering a group of friends together and leading them to defeat a powerful villain at the end of season 6. And she also teaches Twilight a friendship lesson at the end of season 7 to, maybe not just kill the Pony of Shadows because of what our mentor says.
Yeah, cool. So now I'm going to scroll up to the next story we're going to read. And as I scroll up, you've been credited in Shakespearicles, The Talk. This fic was so good that it has convinced me to join this contest just for the opportunity to be judged against it. That's what I said is me said about your fic, Shakespearicles. Yeah, that feels nice.
I remember.
Yes, he quotes me in the summary of that fic. That was a really good fic. And it did inspire me to go into that contest, which that one was for the dialogue-only contest. And as we go into the next fic that we're discussing, this was kind of a sequel to that contest, which is the no dialogue contest.
And I did participate in a no dialogue contest, but that was a M-rated story.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, the next fic we're going to talk about is Trixie Writes a Fanfic.
In the night, oh, Stixie, cool a moon, your story's still in bloom. Pass through time like echoes deep inside a hollow room. Though Trixie's pride stood tall, her name etched in the past, the world just laughs and wonders how she thought it ever last.
And I think this is one of my favorite fics that I've read, just in terms of it being something quite original. So you said that this is was this an attempt at a no dialogue contest, or?
Yes, so this was written for a no dialogue contest.
Yeah.
So the rules for it were just, I guess, self-explanatory, no dialogue. So there could be no.
So you can write what they're thinking, though, can't you? I think that's how it sort of ended, because there was a bit where, like, was it Starlight that found the book? And
it was Starlight, and
it was her thoughts, I guess. So that's why it was able to count as no dialogue.
Yeah, she doesn't say anything. She just kind of thinks to herself on certain things. And yeah, when you're writing a fic with no dialogue at all, you have to be a little creative on, like, how you're communicating ideas and sort of the writing tricks you're using to make it cohesive without any characters talking to one another.
But she is writing a fic in which characters are talking to each other. So it's kind of a weird workaround there.
There's no actual dialogue in the fic either, though. Like,
okay.
The basic rule was nothing could be in, like, quotations, nothing could be said out loud. So, yeah, the premise of the story is that Trixie is writing a fanfic.
Self-insert.
And
the best kind of fanfic, as we all know.
So, yeah, the inspiration behind this fic was sort of taking every trope of bad fanfic that I could think of that I'd ever seen in many years of reading fanfics, and combining them all into one story. That
what was the Spider-Sis one of your inspirations?
I've actually never read that one, believe it or not. It's infamous as that is in the fandom.
Yeah, it was one of my first readings, like way back when I was only doing it casually, and yeah, it's still one of my favorite readings, even though I had a crappy microphone at the time and all that. What I did was I put the actual words on the screen. So, like, most of the people that submitted it on Equestria Daily, they just read it. But I thought it would be more fun to actually put the words on the screen the way they're spelled to make it even funnier. And yeah, so things like downstairs and anyway, it's not really productive to talk about another fic, but yeah, you get what I mean. But with this one, I think one of the funniest things I found was how often the word sexily is used, and also how there's a character whose name is pronounced differently and written differently every time you say it.
Yes,
Caballera Gagonlon, that guy.
So Dr. Caballeron, rival of Daring Do in the show. That one was kind of inspired by the fact that just in the course of actually writing this, I realized I was having trouble, as like me personally, having trouble remembering how that name was spelled every time I was typing it.
Yeah.
So
And remember kids, writing badly is okay if you're doing it on purpose, ironically.
exactly. So yeah, I decided rather than keep bothering myself having to spell it correctly, I would just make a running gag of Trixie spelling it differently every single time she types it out on the course of the story. And then yes, describing everything.
Typing with who's, huh? In a
Exactly. It's a skill. It is actually seen art of like what a pony typewriter might conceivably look like. It's like two large buttons that sort of, depending on where you press them and like angles, can give different things. Make it a little more manageable to use with hooves. But oh yeah, so the story just takes a lot of different bad writing techniques. Describing everything as like the same adverb, sexily in this case. Using like, oh, she was very, very angry. She was very, very surprised. She repeating things. Stixie was very, very shocked, and it was shocking to see what she saw. And then of course,
shocked.
And of course, just giving Trixie a self-insert pony named Stixie Coolamoon that's
and she
colored
uses
in black and
Sparkle's
red.
actual name.
Yes. Yes, Twilight is Twilight. And everyone else gets a cool OC name.
This reminds me of a time in film school where there was this guy in the class that everyone hated because he would annoy everyone by just not understanding anything. Like, he seemed to learn extremely slowly. He didn't understand anything. He was always asking people for help. And there was this time when we were doing this thing where we were getting up in front of the class to present a film idea, or a show idea. And what he did was he literally got the Wikipedia page from Smallville and just changed the name Lana to Lara and Clark to like Claude or something, and he read the entire Wikipedia article of Smallville, and that was his presentation for a show idea.
Well, I mean, in his defense, it is a provenly successful show, so maybe he was onto something. What's a little plagiarism when it comes to pitching TV show ideas?
Yeah, so anyway, I thought it was kind of funny how, she's changing everyone else's name, but she doesn't change Twilight Sparkle's name. So it's like very obvious who she's talking about.
Well, it has to be obvious so she can make it clear how much cooler and better and more powerful her OC is compared to Twilight.
Yeah.
As she repeats multiple times throughout this, a few hundred words.
Yeah. Oh,
and there were a few
Sorry, there's that twist at the end that I really liked where it looks like you're back to writing a normal story because you're back out of, you know, Trixie's head. But then suddenly at the end you write, and then they ravaged each other all day.
Yes.
In exactly the
Yeah.
same way Trixie was saying it. That was a fun little twist there. Like, wait, what?
Well, maybe the bad fanfic was actually the friends we made along the way. Or maybe or it might actually just be me as an author.
Aha, it was a ruse. I was only pretending to be retarded.
Trixie is actually me.
But yeah, when I was
yeah.
listening to this back, I actually, laughed out loud a couple times again. And it's pretty difficult to get me to laugh, so that's an accomplishment right there.
Well, yeah, I tried to go for an amusing story. Even if it didn't win anything, I was really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, and I must have picked it because the title alone was like very enticing. Trixie writes a fanfic. And obviously, as a fanfic reader, audiobook maker, the word fanfic in a title just, draws me. There's been some stories that has like podcast in the title or whatever, and I've tried to go for some of those, but someone usually beats me to it. Like I find out some other audiobook reader has already done it first, and so I tend to give up as soon as I find out that.
All you audiobook readers don't have like a sign up sheet. You don't have a queue to like call dibs on different stories.
There was this dude that had like 10,000 subscribers when I had like 2,000, and I was very jealous of him. And I kind of said, I was kind of trying to ask him to, I was sometimes saying, oh, I'm going to do this story. Can you not do it? And I don't know if that was kind of rude or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, he's actually retired now. He got sick of reading fan fiction. So I'm finally one of the biggest now that he's
He played the long game. He won by not losing. See, what I would have done in that situation was, hey, you want to do a collab? Because that's what I did with Anonymous Pegasus when I was first starting out.
Well, like I've done some collabs with Lotus Moon. I've appeared as a voice in some of her fics, and I've had her come into some of my fics. But I don't do it very often because I just things take so much longer if you're relying on other people to turn up and do their lines and all that sort of stuff. So, I like being able to see a fic, grab my microphone and have the audiobook done within the day. But yeah, there's some audiobook readers that actually go to a lot of effort for each of their episodes. Obviously, that's why Lotus Moon has got a lot more subscribers than me, because she actually gets voice actors to do all the lines, and yeah, she puts a lot more effort into it in that sense.
I'm personally a fan of Pony and Wolf Productions, but then again, they also read really long fics like Fallout Equestria and the various other Fallout Equestria side stories.
Yeah, not something I'd have the patience for. There's this other guy called Quench or something like that, and he's read an entire, I think, 2 million word novel fanfiction, pony fanfiction, and he's finished it, and now he's finally reading shorter stories on his well, he's not on YouTube because he hates YouTube, but he's on like PonyTube, and yeah, he's doing audio
PonyTube.
Shout
I feel
out
like I wouldn't have a voice anymore after reading 2 million words out loud.
Yeah, I think it's something like 500 chapters or something. It's like, wow, that is unbelievable commitment. Anyway, so yeah, I got sidetracked there. Is there anything else we want to talk about with going back to your story?
I had something. Reading Trixie Writes a Fanfic really reminded me of a purposefully shitty story that I wrote for a contest to see who could write the shittiest story. Um, I didn't win, but it was fun to just turn off my brain and basically channel my inner 11-year-old and write the most like self-indulgent, self-inserty, um, uh, edgy story I could write, and it
It is
was
freeing, isn't
amazing.
it?
Yeah,
So, okay, not to keep patting myself on the back here, but to reference again the story I wrote, Tryouts. In it, she punishes Moon Dancer for something. I don't want to spoil the story, but like she's punishing Moon Dancer, and to punish her, she's using the Hey Carts method, where you get to enter a book as a 2-dimensional image, and from the episode where she meets up with Moon Dancer again.
Amending fences. Yep.
Yes. And so she punishes Moon Dancer by putting her inside of Rainbow Dash's Daring Do fan fiction. And it is so purposefully written badly. And she has to deal with all these characters in the book. So it's like she's in the book and it's kind of tells this little sub story of her going through this Daring Do adventure. But literally every character is like mentally disabled. So like
That sounds about right.
Oh no, we have to open the door to the temple. We have to do the sex ritual. Everything requires the sex ritual. To get the key required the sex ritual. It just comes from like Rainbow Dash having written it, where like everything requires them to just basically knock tacos. And because that's how she would write it. So now Moon Dancer has to go through with this plot of just like having to do all this stuff, and it's so awful. And I'm cracking up just remembering having written it. But again, like writing it that badly, it's just like what would Rainbow Dash writing a Daring Do fiction look like? And that's what it came to. Just Rainbow Dash's like capacity to even write to begin with.
I
compounded
actually have a story as well. I did for back in 2020 that was also sex fic between Twilight and Rainbow Dash, but
Cool. Did you want to tell us about that later? Because I've actually got a segment for that where you promote your own stories and tell us more about your future plans. We could probably save that for there. Yeah.
No worries.
That's a false couture we'll need for later.
Yeah. So I just looked up the comments on my reading of this fic, and you left one, and what I see is me, 8 months ago. Clearly a masterpiece. And then edit. Wait. I posted this before I'd finished the whole video. What the fuck is that song at the end? Did you write that? I love it. It caught me so off guard, and I've got a huge smile on my face as I listen to it. And my response is, I don't deserve too much credit. It's an AI-generated song using Suno, and I asked ChatGPT to turn the story into song lyrics. It's just a bonus I put at the end of all my readings now that doesn't require too much extra effort. But Suno is just fun to play with.
Yes, I still enjoyed it though. It was fun. I enjoyed. It caught me off guard because I think that
must have been interesting to think that I actually had the skill to write the song.
I mean, I kind of thought maybe you might have commissioned it or something, but yeah, I forgot. I'm an old man.
Man, I tell you, if I had got rich, I would abandon all the AI stuff, and I would probably get real people. But then, of course, there's still the problem I mentioned earlier of having to wait for people to put their work in if I were to, commission actual songs for each fan fiction that I read.
I mean, writing a song is as easy as taking poetry and just catching it to a catchy tune.
Yeah, says a professional writer and judger of
Yeah.
writing.
I mean, you could always like try to commission Prince Whatever. He seems to be pumping out songs pretty well these
Yeah,
days.
there you go.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty broke anyway. I pay my it was $30 a month when I was using Artlist, but now with Suno I get to only pay $15 a month, so I save a bit of money there. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that comment.
Yes, it is proof that I do actually listen to these.
Yeah, and
audio readings that you do.
I'm now going to have to make 2 songs for you because what I'm going to do when I edit these is I'm going to put the chorus of whatever song I made for the story that we're talking about as an interlude. So I'm going to have to make a song for your Rainbow Dash and Heartswarming ones. So I look forward to that.
I am. Apologies for giving you extra work, though.
Yeah, damn you. No, it won't take too long. As I said, it's a nice thing to do as a bit of a lazy extra bit of content. But yeah, sometimes I can get a bit into it, and I have to generate it a lot of times before I get a good one, and it can be annoying sometimes when Chat GPT isn't really cooperating. Like, I find that when I'm having conversations with Chat GPT, I've got about 10 stories that I've asked it to make songs for, but then it gets really confused and it starts putting lyrics in songs that are from 8 stories ago. Like, it'll start talking about pit pedals in a book that's got nothing, in a story that's got nothing to do with G5. So I have to start a new chat and put in the basic instructions in again, because there's a couple things I have to establish when I start a conversation with ChatGPT of rules that I want it to follow. And I tend to have to do that every 10 stories as it starts getting confused about how much of the whole context of the conversation it ends up drawing from, which can get annoying.
Yeah, I have to say, as someone who grew up watching movies like The Terminator and Matrix and such, I'm really disappointed with how stupid AI is. Like, where's my world-ending, mankind-killing, killer robot artificial intelligences?
Yeah.
Well,
Bring on the robot overlords.
No, the end of the world is not going to be the Matrix or the Terminator. Okay, it's going to be Skynet. Okay, where AI is just producing so much porn that all of humanity just decides to stop breeding because they're too busy watching AI porn, and that will be the AI apocalypse.
I mean, you can kill rats that
I'm
way.
here for it.
Like, they did an experiment where they had it so that this rat had the choice of either pressing a button to get food or pressing a button to have like an orgasm. Like, I don't know, somehow they attached like a wires to its brain or whatever, and one button would give it an orgasm and the other button would give it food, and it just kept pressing the orgasm button until it died of hunger.
Right, but I don't think that really speaks to AI or even Skynet. Okay, that's more of a case of just like, hey, if you could just give yourself an orgasm at will, like imagine like if you could just give yourself a hand job. Wait,
Whoa, really? You can do
wait,
that?
wait, hold on.
It
Hold on.
just
I need to
blew
try
my
something.
mind.
Damn, you might be onto something, Shakes. Hang
Hold
on, I need to go back and read some stories here.
I'm calling out of work tomorrow.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so is that all we wanted to say about that story?
I think I'm good on it.
Cool.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right, so
Yeah, that was enough of a tangent.
the next story, I think, is the one that I did just recently to give And What I See Is Me an extra reward for coming into this podcast, and that is Dreaming of a Perfect Gift.
I just want the perfect gift, something she'll remember, something warm enough to carry through the cold of winter. A spark that tells her everything I never said aloud. The perfect heart-warming gift to make Sweetie Belle proud.
I haven't put that on my channel yet, but I have made it, and I've sent you all the MP3 if you happen to listen to it, or you could have just read it. And oh yeah, the interesting thing about this fic is that it was written for our very own well-respected but unfortunately now banned Scarlet Ribbon, one of our favorite people. Which reminds me, I've got to find out how to get into the chat that you guys are in where you talk to him. So I'm not in that yet.
All right, well, the link will be made available.
I'm guessing that's where the Jackbox games have been happening recently, because I think I haven't been seeing those. Maybe you're running them through, what is it, Matrix or whatever?
No, we were playing them in Discord Friday night.
Okay. How does Scarlet participate in that?
Through the Matrix element. So
Oh, okay.
the idea of it being that, like, generally I'll have a foot in both sides of the fence, where I'll have the voice call going in element as well as in Discord. So if anyone joins in Discord, I'll just say, hey, we're playing over an element, you can join over there, and then I can either direct them there. But really it's mostly for someone who's not on Discord to be able to see the stream from Jackbox and being able to participate in the game. You don't have to all be in the same room, but you have to all be able to see the same stream one
Yeah.
way or another.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's not relevant to the show at the moment. We can talk
Yeah, a
about
little
that
weird that
later.
you asked.
But yeah, tell us about Dreaming of a Perfect Fic.
So this is yet another Jingle Miss fic.
So that's
This one,
3 out of 4. So yeah,
seasonally appropriate. Yes.
it seems like all your or at least that I've read, you tend to do your E-rated fics during Christmas. Heartswarming.
Well, it's more.
Yeah.
Jingle Miss has to be E or T rated fic, so it's like the one time of year I'm forced to write something clean. Even though I'm not participating in Jingle Miss this year, unfortunately, which I do. It's regrettable, but I was just too busy this month. I didn't want to make that commitment and not be able to fulfill it. But speaking of almost not being able to fulfill Jingle Miss, this one was actually a real issue for me to get out.
Before we start, there's actually an author's note on it, where we can read what the exact prompt was that you worked with. So
Yes,
shall I read that out? So
yeah, go
this
ahead.
was the prompt requested by Scarlet Ribbon. Spike's crush on Rarity has long passed, but now his sights are set on someone closer to his age and maturity. Now he wants to get Sweetie Belle a heartwarming present, but doesn't want anyone else to find out about it. The only issue is, he's not even sure what to get for her. Doesn't need to be super sappy, but I'll take super sappy if that is what you want to write. I just thought that'd be a good basis to start on, the prompt that you had.
Yep.
Let's go.
So yeah, like I said, I really hit a wall on like what to write on that. And I really came down to the real issue I was having is like trying to figure out what present Spike would get for Sweetie Belle that would be like appropriate to write a whole story about. And I was kind of struggling to come up with an idea. Had a few drafts where I wrote a few hundred words or 1,000 words, and then didn't like where it was going, so deleted it, started over. Trying out different ideas. Nothing was really making a story that I was happy with, and it was getting closer and closer to the deadline of when I had to publish this fic. I was actually really fortunate. This was the last day of Jingle Miss that I was assigned to post on, because if I'd been like the 24th or 25th, I would not have had a completed fic yet. So yeah, eventually what I settled on was cheating a little bit, but also kind of inspired by my own difficulties thinking of a gift, where Spike is stressing out about what to give Sweetie Belle for heartwarming, and is kind of distracted, and Twilight's getting concerned about him because he's not paying attention, and it's just sort of having a similar character arc to what he had in the Best Gift Ever special, where he's just kind of freaking himself out, overthinking a gift. And he goes to bed and wakes up in a dream with Luna, who attempts to assist him in solving his problem and helping him figure out something for Sweetie Belle. But turns out Luna is maybe 1,000 years behind the times on what Philly might enjoy for heartwarming. So, things like defeating one's enemy and laying their battered body beneath the heartwarming tree, or getting them a sharp sword or a war chariot as a type of
Yeah.
loyalty.
I enjoyed what
Um,
you came up with for those. I'm actually just looking for the first quote right now of the first thing Luna suggested, which I thought was pretty funny. I'm looking through your fic now,
it's,
trying to find it.
I can find. I'm in there too. No, this is great podcasting with just us reading the
I could use
reading
the,
through
um,
the as we
I
talk.
could use the
Yeah,
find
so
feature to get.
I'll keep talking while you're looking. So yeah,
Well, I'll just keep like saying the N word, and this can all get edited out.
there you go. YouTube will appreciate that.
What about the Z word?
With the hard R.
The C word with the hard R, yep.
Z as in Z. For all you international folks.
But yeah, the eventually Luna's suggestion is just kind of, imagine what, just, Sweetie Belle better than anyone, so just think about what would make her happy and envision yourself giving it to her. And in his dream, he does so, and he opens his eyes opens his hands in the dream and reveals what he's holding for Sweetie Belle and realizes, oh, this would be the perfect gift for her. This is exactly what she would want. And then he wakes up and says, oh, I'm going to go get that for her. And the fic never actually has to make any mention of what the present actually was, because I cheated and did not feel like thinking of what a gift would be for Sweetie Belle. So
Would you like a better ending for that story?
Well, I mean,
I
I
have
was going to
one.
ask, and like, you're going to have to come up with what the gift actually was now.
No.
Surely you've thought of something by now.
You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it. Here's a better ending, and I think it would suit you as a comedy writer. The perfect gift for the perfect filly, and he couldn't wait to give it to her. This was going to be the best heartwarming ever. He proceeded to cut a hole in a box.
Oh my god.
What? Okay.
And you know what? That's still E-rated.
Is
it
it?
is. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing explicit about cutting a hole in the box.
It's all about subtext.
And
It's appropriate for cable
subtext
TV.
Without S-E-X.
with the addition
For network
of,
TV.
with the addition of one single sentence. And I know Scarlett would fucking love that.
That actually, damn, I should have confided with you back at the time. Because that is a great
You
scene.
can always
sure,
edit the
but you
fic.
didn't.
Yep.
Add it.
No, that's too much work.
Add a alternate ending chapter, something. Anyway, I found the quote from Luna, so I'm actually going to put my Luna voice on now. One thing about voicing Luna is that I once had someone there was a writer who requested that I get Lotus Moon as a voice actor for having Luna in one of my fics. And while she was able to make it sound like Luna in the sense that she sounded female, I didn't really find that she was making it sound very much like Luna in terms of the way she talks. In fact, I should probably edit that out. I probably don't want Luna Moon to listen to this podcast and hear me talking crap about her, but I find that I think I'm very good at getting the emotional context of a lot of the characters that I read, even though I obviously aren't very good at, accents or anything like that. So anyway, I'm going to say what Luna said. I admit it is somewhat cliche for a holiday present, but have you considered defeating an enemy of hers in single combat and presenting the beaten body beneath her heartwarming tree. That was Luna's first suggestion to Spike. And how do you think I
I mean,
went
I
with
feel it's a good
sounding like
suggestion.
Luna in ways other than sounding female?
I think you got her gravitas down pretty well.
Yes.
I also
Frankly,
think that War Chariot would have been a perfectly fine gift for Sweetie Belle, in my opinion.
yeah, bears are too soft these days.
Yeah, I think that this, like, if you listen to quote unquote professional book narration, it's not about trying to do an impression of the character. It's just about reading that character's dialogue emphatically in your own natural speaking voice, where the person listening to it isn't expecting a dramatic reenactment play. It's just they want someone else to do the reading for them because reading is hard and getting someone else to do that for you is good.
Yeah, I mean, heck, Pony and Wolf Productions, the guy who does that is German, and he has a very thick German accent, but like the way he reads it, like each character has their own like individual voice. He really brings out the characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, I should probably listen to some of that. But I tend to have, like, I pretty much haven't read other fiction readers because I don't really want to be influenced by them. I just want to keep doing my own thing. And also sometimes I might get jealous. Like I think Straight to the Point Studio, who's retired now, he was absolutely
Envious.
awesome at sounding very feminine with his voice and was very good at sounding like the ponies, like very legitimately. And I guess I was kind of jealous of that. And that might be why he got more subscribers than me.
You outlasted him as well.
Yeah, but my Discord doesn't have a bunch of fans in it. He got a lot more socially involved with his community, which I haven't really been able to do. And it's not
Give
really in
it
my nature
time.
to either. Like, obviously he really enjoyed spending time with his fans and like gaming with them and all that, whereas I'm a much more private person and yeah, I don't really have that advantage of being able to actually be actively involved, which I think is one of the reasons why not many people listen to me. Anyway, sorry to go on about myself.
You'll get there. It takes a long time to build an audience. I mean, I look at the number of followers Shakespearicles has compared to me, and I feel, oh wow, yeah, no one likes me. But it's grown. One day, he's got a solid decade on me too.
Yeah, maybe what I need to do is get a girlfriend and have that girlfriend read parts of the narration for me. Because obviously that would
You
be
could also
like easy to do. I can get a girlfriend whenever I
you could
want,
also get
obviously.
a boyfriend.
Oh, but that won't help. Then I'll just have...
Yeah, he's already got the male parts covered.
Yeah, exactly. Another guy would just be two different male voices. I need a girlfriend so that I can have her read the dialogue from
Hear
the
me out.
ponies.
Hear me out.
All right.
A femboy.
Yes.
Well, that's kind of what Straight to the Point Studios was. He was able to put on a femboy voice.
All right, the word you're searching for is a falsetto, first of all.
I've
And
never
also
heard that word.
a
I thought
falsetto.
falsetto was like
It's used most commonly in like singing, in a context of singing as like your high voice. But yeah, it's basically like the high range of a male voice.
It would be like if I was to try to intimidate a girl, imitate a girl's voice right now, which I cannot do because I'm still getting over a cold. But like, just getting back to the original point, like Mrs. Shakes is like my primary editor. Like she's my proofreader. She's the first pass on all my stories, and like so having that also helps to eliminate the dreaded male gaze.
Mm.
GAZE, by the way.
as opposed to the male gaze, which are a perfectly acceptable audience for our fanfics.
Yeah, I've written
Rewrite.
male mail before.
Same.
All right, so I got a bit
would be like up here.
I got a bit distracted talking
Yeah.
about myself. So let's go back to the fic that we're talking about. I think I might have interrupted you in the middle of something.
Oh right, we
there.
were talking about fics. I
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah.
And the way to fix that fic is by cutting a hole in the box.
Yes.
We'll save that for the writing advice section. So anyway, did you end up ever thinking of a gift for Sweetie Belle? What were some of your ideas of what it would be that you scrapped?
So, like, oh boy, this was 3 years ago. So let me try to remember some of these. I know one of them was based on that Best Gift Ever special, which I think in the joke there, it's Spike's walking down the street and everyone's like recommending perfect gifts for rarity, and one of them is like a statue of rarity made from smaller statues of rarity. And that was one of like the first things I was going to give Spike, was like,
obviously,
here's a statue of
Twilight.
Sweetie Belle made by smaller statues of Sweetie Belle.
Yeah, obviously Twilight would have suggested a book. I think you probably already made that.
Twilight
joke.
always suggests books.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
Twilight,
is the book
Oh.
horse.
No.
There's-
You could have Spike be like, "Hey, Rarity, I made you this doll. I made a doll version of you from all the hair I've collected from your hairbrush."
Oh, creepy.
every girl appreciates that as a gift.
Yeah.
Especially
Yikes.
ones that you've never met before until you present them that gift.
Mm.
Yeah, I worked really hard on this, Rarity, to sneak into your house every night and steal the hair from your hairbrush.
It's held together by pieces of gum that you've chewed and left.
Oh, well,
in
that's
various
delightful,
places in the
darling.
last 10
Thank you
years.
so much.
Proceeds to incinerate it.
But yeah, I think there were a few other like kind of generic gifts that I was kicking around, or kind of, oh, it's a gift of love or a gift of friendship, or doing something with like, or I think one of them was like Spike doing a performance of something with like Apple Bloom and Scootaloo. I just tried to combine those two names in one Apple Blue. But
That's
yeah,
Scooter Bloom.
just a few things that just nothing really was catching for me. Nothing was really working as like a idea to base a story around.
I mean, you could just completely rip off like fine wine.
I mean, I've ripped off stories before for a Jingle Miss, but
All right, but tell me
It's
you've
fine.
read like fine wine.
I
I
have
don't
not.
think I have.
Oh boy, I'm gonna dig that one up.
I have, or at least the name sounds familiar. I'm
Is
sure
that
I've
something
read
I
it,
should do a
like-
reading of?
You can do a reading of the first half. The second half is explicit, but the leading up to it's a really great, like, nice romance story.
Is that by Sleepless Brony? Or no,
yes.
that's
Yes, that is the
yes.
one.
Okay.
It's considered
Yes, I found it.
it's considered a Sparity classic.
Cool.
I'll have to add that to my read later list.
Yeah, I might look at it, see if it's I mean, yeah, I don't do explicit
it's-
fics anymore, but
It's also 20,000 words.
I mean,
so I don't know if that
if I
that
got-
might be a little long for
Yeah.
your readings.
yeah, I don't like doing ones that long. But also, if I ever get like really popular doing this project of audiobooking, if I get popular enough, I might go back and do explicit fics if there's enough people that are interested in listening to them. Like if I get so many fans that there's at least 100 people that are going to go onto my Patreon and get exclusive content, then it would be worth going back to mature fics. But until then, yeah, E or T only, unfortunately.
For that, folks, go subscribe to the Patreon so all
So
my
I
old,
prefer they become members.
all
of
the
the
old
channel.
fics that Mystery Fluttershy fan read for me that got deleted can go back up.
Yeah, there is still a way to get to some of those. But I can probably sneak it in here. If you just go to the Libsyn version of my podcast that's hosted on Libsyn, that still has a lot of the explicit fics on it. And as long as I keep it short, YouTube probably won't notice that I said that. And yeah, hopefully their
Secret
AI
never-
won't find that I just said that. Because yeah, there's the Spotify hosted version which has only the Safe for Work fix, and then there's the Libsyn hosted podcast. And that's the only difference. Yeah, in case you're interested. And you can listen to some of the other fics I've read of And What I See Is Me. So
Yes.
anyway.
There were a few of them back there. Yeah, but that's, I think, it for... It's basically everything on that story.
Cool. All right,
You know,
so... Yeah, now that we've gotten through all the stories, there's the couple of other segments. I think we'll start... Well, actually, yeah, the first segment will... Yeah. What other stories of yours would you suggest? So, what's your future plans? And, yeah, what are some fics that you'd recommend from your collection? There probably aren't many because, yeah, you're mostly...
Yeah, I mean, if I'm keeping this clean, YouTube appropriate stories for this. I think I really do enjoy. I think In Her Life is actually one of my best clean fics that I've written. It's sort of it was also another Jingle Miss fic, keeping with the theme. But it's a Scootaloo and Button Mash romance taking place on the alternate War with King Sombra timeline from the season 5 season finale. And I just had a lot of fun with that one, kind of exploring the ramifications of that alternate timeline where, the Crystal Empire returns with Sombra leading it and going into a war with with Equestria, and sort of what living in that world would look like for the average pony. And I might revisit that timeline as well, because I just always found a fascination with like that setting. Like there's a lot of potential for it that I might revisit at some point.
Cool. So you still got lots of plans for the future? Any cool
I
fics
do.
that
I
get
have
in the pipeline?
So I have basically 3 that I'm working on right now. Well, I have 2 new ones, and I also have a new chapter for my first story. That's about 5 years overdue right now. So I think like between all those, I have about 13,000 words written on them. Yeah, it's a new chapter for A New Lust Dawns. I have a Rocky Horror Picture Show parody fic that I'm writing. That's gotten... I got about 5,000 words on that right now. That I'm trying to get finished at some point before the end of the year. Maybe. It was originally supposed to be for Halloween, and just... That's how my writing process goes. 4 months later, maybe I'll get it done. And I have one fic that I am actually branching into non-ponies with. It's an Equestria Girls fic. So
Boo.
that might be... I know. Hands.
Hey, there's some really good Equestria
Hands.
Girls fics.
Yeah,
I actually
read,
I enjoy
3.
Equestria Girls. I'm not gonna...
I actually
shade
did
on
this
that. I
April
know.
Fool's joke where I said... Because I read a couple of Equestria Girls fics back when, I was reading stuff that I couldn't put on YouTube. But other
Like
than that...
Pinecrest Resort.
Sorry?
Like Pinecrest Resort.
No, I didn't read that. But anyway, basically what I did was I did an April Fool's joke where I put up a video that said 12 plus hours of Equestria Girls readings, you know, because I regularly put up like a compilation after I've done a lot of a certain pony. But the joke was that it was only one fic and I just repeated it for 12 hours. That was the April Fool's joke. Because I read one Equestria Girls fic and then I made a 12 hours plus of Equestria
Just
Girls.
looping it over and over.
Yeah. And I actually had it slow down each time. So I did had the normal reading of the fic and then I pasted it in again and doubled its time. So it was, you know, it ended up being like, in super slow motion by the 12th hour. I don't know. I just thought that was funny thing to do for April Fools. I got to think of what I'm going to do next year.
But yeah, that's basically what I'm working on right now. I'm not having a lot of time to write this month with all the holiday seasons, so hopefully I'll get at least something out by the end of the year, or if not, you know, January might just be a dump of a bunch of things.
Well, I'm looking forward to reading your
Wow. Hey,
Rocky
guess
Horror
what?
Picture Show
Chicken butt.
crossover.
It turns out I have nearly read every safe fic that and What I See Is Me, because I just there's only one page of stories that And What I See Is Me has written that appear with mature off. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I think there's what, 4
Yeah, I've probably
four
read
clean
about
ones
half
that
of
you
them.
haven't read. Yeah.
I just thought I'd mention that.
Well, see, that gives you enough to do more readings and invite me back again.
Yeah. Yeah, once I do another 4 or so, I can have an excuse to invite you back. All right. So have we finished with that segment and we'll move on to the next one?
I'm going to recommend Making Shopping a Breeze.
What? Are you about to do an advertisement?
No,
That
No,
sounds
that's
like-
one of my fics.
that's one of his stories.
I was like, I would recommend Making Shopping a Breeze. This episode is sponsored by... That's what I thought was about to happen. Sounded like
It's the one fic
start
that
to that.
actually managed to win one of Shakes' contests.
Cool.
Which is why I'm recommending it.
Let's see if I can find it. I'm only using a quarter of a window because I got all the other OBS information covering my screen.
You're gonna have to take the safe search off.
Oh,
I keep
okay.
posting links. I keep posting links in Discord.
All right, cool. So yeah, I was just looking for it there, but obviously it's not going to appear with safe search on. Yeah, cool. So yeah, the next segment is Who is Best Pony? What is best episode?
Okay, best pony is Starlight Glimmer.
I thought you were
Throw
going to
that out
say
there
Pinkie
right away.
Pie.
Pinkie Pie is my favorite of the main 6, but
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
I love Pinkie
every
Pie.
interviewee
He's
so
one of my
far has
favorite
kind of
characters.
sorry. Every interviewee has kind of cheated so far by not picking a main 6. I don't think anyone's picked a main 6 yet. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, Starlight Glimmer is my favorite of the characters. I just enjoy her character arc. I enjoy her sense of humor, kind of a dry, sarcastic wit about her. And I enjoy just that her go-to solution to everything is, how can I make this disastrously worse by using magic somehow?
Mhm.
And then, yeah, Pinkie Pie is also a close second for me. I have always enjoyed her attitude and kind of that cheerful happiness. And
I feel like
approach
you
to
put a bit of the spirit
trying
of
to make
Pinkie,
everything happy.
You know, when you're typing socially, you sort of put a bit
Yeah,
of
there's kind of a chaotic energy that I try to emulate of her, and also just hey, how can I make everyone laugh?
That's why
So
when
I
I
have
see
to
you
ask-
typing something, I imagine it in like a high-pitched Pinkie voice.
So I have to ask then, is your favorite episode, I'm just guessing, every little thing she does because of the scene with Starlight baking with Pinkie Pie?
No, it's not actually. That one is not. That would probably be in my top 10 favorite episodes. I do enjoy that one. My favorite episode is actually I guess it's cheating a little bit because it's a two-parter, but it's the
Swear and back
season.
again.
Yes, correct. Season 6 finale.
That is
Uh,
like peak Starlight right there.
Yeah, that one is just a fantastic episode. The humor is great. The story is fantastic. Starlight and Trixie uh, at their best, saving the world, along with Discord and Thorax. And yeah, it's just, Chrysalis is a fun villain as well. And it was a great episode.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree. That two-parter was flawless in my opinion. It took the side characters that we know and love, and it put them into their unnatural habitat, which was like being in the spotlight. Like taking a character and taking them out of their comfort zone is a great way to write a story. It creates immediate drama and conflict is what drives the narrative. And that whole episode was just really great of seeing how all these characters function being outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah. And also on a personal level, like I could kind of relate to that scene where Starlight goes back to revisit her village and like see old friends, but she's changed a lot. Was also and being nervous about doing that was relatable for me for a number of reasons too. So that made it fun as well.
Yeah, and anybody who knows me knows my preference for shipping. But outside of that specific genre, Stixie is by far my favorite ship. And I know you'd like to throw Sunburst into the mix. It's a very natural addition. I don't fault anybody for doing that. But having Starlight, Glimmer, and Trixie as a ship is just one of the best things the show ever did. And like they weren't even subtle about it either.
well, I mean,
Trixie literally tells Starlight she loves her in one episode. It's fine.
It's canon.
Yes.
yeah, I mean, they're both reformed villains, so it's a good fit.
Yeah, no second prances was the best way to introduce that ship. And
Yeah.
like we're at the very end where Trixie's just like, "Oh, Starlight, I love you so much. If you don't love me back, I'm gonna kill myself." And then Starlight's talking to Twilight like, "Hey, Twilight, should I fall in love with somebody that I just met?" And Twilight's like, "You know what? I don't even care anymore. You do you." And she's like, "Thanks, Twilight. You're the best."
Wait, did the show actually get that dark? Where
Oh yeah,
Pony
no,
talked about
like
killing himself?
Trixie straight up
tries
attempts
to-
suicide.
Trixie
She
shoots
literally
herself
attempts
out of a
suicide.
cannon into a manticore's mouth.
Cool. Yeah, I
And
don't have
is
that
only
much of a
saved at the
memory
last
of the
minute.
last couple seasons.
Yeah, no, it's it got pretty fucking unhinged, and it was terrific. It's just
Cool.
the entire experience of the show from season 1 to season 9 was just everything, and it was a product like of the internet for the internet, and it was the best, and I could just relive this decade forever, and that would be my afterlife. That would be the Pinkie Pie party that is everlasting.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, now we'll move on to the next segment, which is Shakespearicles, legendary writing advice. Let's
And
go.
the prompt today is
Oh, I don't know. I just thought you could. I don't know. How do
No,
you?
I can give a prompt if you want,
Yeah, go. Yeah.
sure.
because it's something I struggle with occasionally. Is how do you overcome like when you are like how do you stay consistent with your writing? Where I encounter a lot of times where like I just have trouble bringing myself to get started writing a story or picking up where I left off. So how do you like force yourself to get to writing?
Well, this is a timely question considering I'm in the longest dry spell I've ever been in since I've joined the fandom.
Same.
I haven't published anything since May or June. Uh, but that isn't to say that I haven't been writing. I have been writing a lot in the background. I have started a embarrassing number of stories that I have not like finished, but like I have like a chapter or a chapter and a half, or I have some stories that have like several chapters that I've already written. One thing I like to cite in this example is Dost Thou Wish to Build a Snowman, which was originally written to be between Luna and Twilight, but I ended up making it being between Twilight and Luna and Celestia, about building a snowman rather than having the overview effect. And this is something that I commented about in the story. The point being that, like, even if the story doesn't get published as it was originally written, don't delete anything, don't throw anything away. Just put it in a box, in a folder, in a corner, somewhere out of the way. You don't have to use it, but you may end up using it in the future, in which case I ended up recycling almost that entire story, changing out the characters, changing the theme, and changing the reasoning behind it. I ended up using it as a Jingleness story. And it just goes to show that nothing that you do for the craft of writing is useless. At the very least, it can be used as a bad example. So, in terms of getting back into writing, if you're running into a dry spell, one of the things that I kind of struggled with with this past summer, for example, was distraction. And so, what you need to do is just put your phone away, have it be in a different room, turn off your social media, log out of Discord, and take a nap in the middle of the day and just brainstorm. And then when you get it from that nap, write down either on with pen and paper or doing it in a word processor, but like not connected to the internet in a way that like you're going to be able to get pinged with messages, and writing down the outline of the idea. At least telling yourself like, where do I want this story to go? Knowing how the story ends is like half the battle, because at any point during the middle part of that story where you're getting lost in the second act and it kind of meanders around and all these little side quests, as long as you know how the story ends, it kind of functions as a compass and it directs your characters and your narrative to aim toward that destination. And eventually, by doing that, you will get there.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
it's funny that you actually mentioned that pen and paper, because I have found that like sometimes I will just like remove myself completely from a computer and just write out a page or two like of text just by hand, just to, and then type it back into a Word document later, but just to remove myself from like any distraction.
Yes. Well,
'Cause I think that is what.
one of the fringe benefits of being real life friends with Rob Cakerin 53, author of My Little Dashie, is having access to an honest to goodness mechanical paper typewriter. And sometimes it's just fun to play with that. Just the hearing the clacking of the keys is its own motivation. Like it gives you that old world feel of, metal onto ink onto paper, just the smell of leather and a glass of cognac, and typing. And you start typing just silly stuff just to hear the computer, just to hear the keys typing. And what I recommend to anyone who wants to like be a serious, writer is to get an actual typewriter, or at the very least a heavy duty mechanical keyboard. And I can make some recommendations. For example, the typewriter that I use is the keyboard that I use is a $300 keyboard called the Quirky Writer, and it uses mechanical keys to send electrical inputs. It's basically a typewriter with a USB port in the back that types in a word processor. It's very basic. It's got no frills, no fancy lights or nothing. But when you click it, like you feel that old world sensation of typing, like A Tale of Two Cities, or you get that feeling of like being a capital W writer.
A
And
nice, satisfying chunk of
it makes you just want to keep writing.
mechanical keyboard. Yeah,
even if you're just writing nonsense,
Love that noise.
you're writing just to get that tactile feedback sensation. And what ends up happening as a side effect is that by writing nonsense, it motivates your fingers to keep moving, and then you end up arriving at what you want to write. And then once you get there, you're already in motion. It's like running. It's like hitting the ground running, and your feet are already going, and then you're off to the races.
Yeah, so yeah, I find that this affects me as an audiobook reader. A lot of the times I don't feel like doing it. I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like doing it right now. I'm not feeling creative. I can't be bothered. So sometimes I'll solve that by just reading something short, like, a 1,300 word story just to get it over with. But pretty much every time I just force myself to do a reading of something, I find myself getting into it. My energy goes back up as I'm doing it. And then maybe I go into Suno and I create a song for it before I've, edited it. And then the song inspires me, comes up with a cool song. And that song then inspires me to get the whole thing done. And yeah, I go from not feeling bothered to do it to having a finished product within the day when I didn't really want to. But I end up wanting to as I do it and force myself to do it. That's how a lot of
Yeah.
these get made. And then
Yeah,
I'm
and
really proud of
that
myself.
door that door swings both ways because in addition to reading, one of the pieces of advice that I picked up from the community was from another writer called Clopfix in the comments, and he would literally write Clopfix in the comments of pictures on Derpy Brew. But he would start out there just writing maybe one or two paragraphs of a short little Clopfic just to add a little spice to whatever image happened to be posted there. But what would end up happening is that he would post that, and then he's like, okay, wait a minute, I need to flesh out this story more. And then having written this little two or three paragraph synopsis story, like then it him to led to him writing a fully fleshed out story after being inspired by his own writing in the process of creating this small little Clopfic in the comment.
Yeah, cool. And Leviathan, have you got anything to say? You've been quiet for a while.
Um, I mean, I've also been going through a bit of a dry spell. Something that I've actually tried doing is um, basically just giving myself permission to write whatever I feel like writing, even if it isn't like one of my big projects that I'm working on. Like just write whatever I think is fun, which at the moment is basically I'm currently just writing an outline for a crossover between My Little Pony and Epic the Musical.
Cool.
Nice.
So we're just about at 2 hours. So we'll move on to the next segment, which is Leviathan Eclipses. Headcanon Extravaganza. So this is
Okie
your
dokie dokie.
your segment now.
All right. Well, I came up with a few since last time. One of which uh, is entirely due to a fanfic that I've read and love. Um, A Life and Times of a Winning Pony. Basically, just um, the headcanon is that Cloud Kicker, a background pony, is a bit of a slut and in a semi-open relationship with Blossomforth, another background pony. And she also has a massive extended family, most of whom are in the Royal Guard and are also a bit of a Pegasus Sky Warrior cult, with many Sky Warrior cults.
What story
It's a
inspired
pun.
that idea?
Nice.
Life and Times of a Winning Pony, as well as like all of its sequels and side stories. Like, it was written by one of the original, like, uh, really prolific authors. I can't pronounce his name because it's like really hard, but I think it's like sort of maybe pronounced something along the lines of Churger Quardroth or something like that. But yeah, it's basically just a story of like this guy being like, "Hey, what's the story behind Cloud Kicker? She's just a background pony. No one really knows anything about." And then he just made this extremely intricate background.
Yeah, is that the pony that's like a color swap of Flitter, or very similar looking to Flitter? Or is that
No, Cloud Kicker is like
I'm probably thinking of
is
Cloud
like
Chaser then. Yeah,
yeah, because Cloud Chaser and Flitter are the twins. No.
yeah, and Flitter's one of the cutest ponies there is.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, Cloud Kicker is purple with blonde mane. I believe that for the first Nightmare Night episode, she was in a witch costume. But yeah, it's she's also the pony who helps out Blossomforth when Blossomforth stretches a bit too much and pulls some muscles, which is like a 2-second thing that was a part of the Tornado Day episode. But yeah,
Hurricane Fluttershy.
right. Hurricane Fluttershy. Yeah, that is just something that I personally include in like basically all of my fan fictions whenever like Cloud Kicker is even tangentially brought up. That's just like yeah, Cloud Kicker is a bit of a slut, but ponies still like her because she's very charismatic.
Cool. All right. Any others? We're probably
Yes, I have an explanation for Pinkie Pie.
like how she
Pinkie
does
Pie.
her
Oh, this will be
magic.
good.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
a fitting one.
I have an
Interesting to hear this.
explanation for Pinkie Pie. Like that is such a broad statement. Like, oh yeah, I solved the Grand Unified Theory. Let's go. Here it comes.
Yeah. Okay. So
Perpetual
Pinkie
motion
Pie
machine.
is a chaos mage. And what I mean by this is that in the season finale or series finale, she gets a hold of Grogar's bell and gains the powers of Discord for like 5 seconds. And in those 5 seconds, she retroactively grants herself at least a fraction of Discord's chaos powers. Triggered by the rain boom. And that is one explanation as to how she does what she does. Another is that she is a traditional fae. And
Are we gonna use the
fae,
G word?
no, fae are kind of like,
No, I know what the Fae
Yeah,
are.
fairies.
yeah, but like they can do all sorts of different like crazy stuff in mythology. One of things includes kind of what's the word?
Baking a
Essentially,
portal.
yeah, basically like teleporting and like popping up in places where you wouldn't expect things to be able to fit, or even places that are physically impossible, like inside of a mirror, um, stuff like that.
Have you considered maybe the possibility that Pinkie is just a literal cartoon character and doesn't follow
If nothing
the laws
else,
of physics or
Pinkie does. I show canon. Pinkie does have magic that a normal Earth pony doesn't have,
Yeah.
All right,
or even
so
a Pegasus doesn't have.
all right. In the context of the show, I would liken Pinkie Pie to being like Neo from the Matrix, where she's aware that she's inside of a simulation and therefore she can bend it to her will.
That's kind
See
of
the
like
toad.
Deadpool too. That's Deadpool's thing.
Yes.
Eh.
Yes. I mean, the comparison to Deadpool has been done like a bunch of times, but I'm thinking like the fact that she's like knows that she's inside of a cartoon show. The fact that like when Twilight is first revealed to be an alicorn in at the when she comes back down from the sky after having her song with Celestia, and then like she comes swinging in from the top of the TV screen, like she's aware of that she's inside of a TV show and she can manipulate that.
Yes, indeed.
So, Pinkie Pie versus Deadpool death battle. We got to do that.
Oh, no.
I'm sure someone probably has.
Well, Pinkie Pie wins because Pinkie Pie is Suction Cup Pony, and you can't kill Suction Cup Pony.
Well, you can't
Yeah.
kill Deadpool either.
Also, Wade Wilson would not even want to fight Deadpool. He'd be like, "Oh my god, you're so cute!" Like that's yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds probably is a brony.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I know his daughter is a fan, and therefore he's a brony.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, we've just passed the 2 hour point. I think that is, a pretty good point to maybe start wrapping it up. I usually like to leave a chance if there's anything that we kind of rushed through or you thought of something else to say about any of the past segments. You can maybe talk about it a bit here before we finish. Because I'm not necessarily in a hurry to leave. I can probably do another 15 minutes, but that obviously depends if you guys want to. How much more you got in you to talk about? I guess the silence says it all.
I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I mean, if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to answer. I'm not in any rush to go, but
All right, I do have a question. I meant to ask it earlier. So when you wrote the last Heartswarming, if you recall, do you recall where you were like mentally when you wrote that? Like, I don't know if you were dealing with someone who had just died, because I have written some stories where like something had happened in my life and I had to write a story to like kind of like cope with that.
Yeah, like
so
the Rarity Fights Giant Crab being one example, I assume.
Yes.
So it was actually not me who had a family member die near the holiday, but I have a good friend who, like, the year before, on like December 28th, lost a parent. So like that season when I was writing this was like his first holiday without having his father with him, like, to celebrate with, and he was having a lot of, like, it was a struggle for him. Like, what's normally a happy time of the year was like, oh, this feels like empty now that this person's not with me anymore. So I think I did channel some of those emotions into that fic that I wrote as kind of a, hey, even if they're not here with you anymore, like, they're still with you in some way, and you'll get to see them again during the holidays. So it's still like a time you can celebrate, even if it's not the same as it was.
Yeah, cool. All right. So do you have any socials that you want to share about how people get in touch with you? Might as well mention. I mean, yeah, we know your name. We know how to find you on Fimfiction.
Yeah, I'm on Fimfic. Just follow me on Fimfic. I don't exist anywhere else that's notable.
Cool.
But yeah, read my stuff. Follow me. Like my things and comment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at your user page right now, and I'm really looking forward to you writing your next story because that would be nice.
Yes. It'll be a big milestone for me.
For those of us who are listening instead of watching, that would be his 69th story.
Oh, nice.
It's a sex joke. Get it?
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just glad I got to 68 before the number prior to it became a meme.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's peak brain rot.
I didn't have to deal with that being a thing.
See, at least when we were making 69 jokes in when I was younger, like I knew what that was. Kids are like, 69. Like, you don't even know what that is. Like, yeah, it is.
Exactly.
Well, what about what's
it's like a
happening now?
yang.
What's happening now? 6, 7. 6, 7.
Where did that even come from, man?
Apparently nowhere. Apparently it's just a number someone said and they decided to make a meme out of it for no reason.
Yeah, it's so the idea of it is that it's kind of like audible rage baiting because the kids who were doing this didn't even know what 69 was, so they said 6'7" just to have the teachers be like, no, it's 6'9", and then you're like, well, what's 6'9"? And then they're just like, and then just like, 6'7".
8, 9,
And
10.
it's-
Well
Yeah.
done. You can count
Yeah.
now.
Kids are dumb. That's the takeaway from this.
Yeah,
All right. All right.
that is a timeless joke. Kids will always be
69
dumb.
meant something.
Yeah.
I can also confirm that it has spread internationally. During my trip to Germany a couple months ago, there were kids just saying 6'7" in English. Just 6'7", 6'7". It's like
How do you say 6, 7 in German?
sex sieben.
Sex 7.
See, that's a
Oh.
funnier sounding name
That's-
at least, or number at
Yeah.
least.
Technically,
it's a German joke.
technically it's Zex Sieben because they pronounce the S as like a Z sound whenever it's
the
like
Z word.
All right. All right. So I think we'll wrap it up there. Try to get me to 100 members on my YouTube channel. If you become a Patreon of me, I tend to ignore Patreon and I don't keep up to date on there. You're better off becoming a member on YouTube because I'm going to pay more attention to that. You're going to get all the extra content there, whereas I usually can't be bothered putting it on Patreon. So, yeah, get me to 100 YouTube members, and then I will start doing mature fics again. That's
How many
my
YouTube members do you
promise.
have right now?
4, a whole 4. So only 96 to go. Yeah,
Okay,
we
guys.
can get there.
If 96 of you join up after this podcast is released because of me.
I'm telling you, dude, it's worth it. Okay, the members only section's
Ow.
amazing. We get totally political in there.
Just so you know,
All
I
the
did include all the
politics.
political stuff from last episode. I didn't separate that. But you do get us having some banter about video games and stuff while we're setting up the show. Today's one is going to be like 20 minutes. Last time was 15 minutes, and on the first episode was 10 minutes. So you get all that content. And of course, you get early access to all the audiobooks or whatever I put up. I'm going to put this podcast up shortly after I end the recording, but it's not going to be public until the 26th of December. Because that's my...
I also get to find out which of the 4 of us was late today.
Which of the 4 of us was late? What?
In the podcast.
I don't get the joke.
Oh, late, not
Oh,
late.
late. Ah.
today.
Late.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You find out who was late.
Yes.
Excuse
only.
me, I was just on time.
Hey, you just spoiled it.
I was not late.
You just spoiled
Alright,
the motivation for people to become a member and listen to... Anyway.
Hey, you
29
can just
seconds
cut
late.
that out.
And all you people who are listening on YouTube, in the comments, make your guesses on which time I muted myself to piss into a bottle.
Oh.
Oh, is that what
I'm going
you're
to
doing
search
with
for
your
that when
meter?
I'm editing this. Anyway. All right. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. However you want to interpret the word coming. And I'll see you next time. And I'll try to read more of your fics and what I see is me so I can have you on again.
Yeah, well, it was great to be on this time. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, cool. All right, catch you guys later.
Good night, Internet.
See you on the flip side.
It's the Mystery Pony Fiction Channel. Mystery. Also available as a podcast on Spotify. Pony. And Dizzy Moonbow is best pony, by the way. Fiction.